Teresa, she healed her sooth. But she rose 2 feet higher in her own estimation, and so, rubbing her up and smoothing her down, he bathed his lips in smiling mood, kiss a kiss after kiss a cush, as he warned her never, on Anna Pogues of the freckled forehead. While you paused Teresa, she healed her sooth. But she rose 2 feet higher in her own estimation, and steps on stilts ever since. That was Kiswa healing with Bantul for balm. Oh, wasn't he the bold priest? And wasn't she the naughty Livy? Naughty Nana's now her navin. Lads in Scout's breeches went through her before that, barefoot Byrne and Wallamy Wade, looking Quillia's noblest picked, before she had a hint of a hair. When he raped her home, Sabrina saw, in a parakeet's cage, by dredgerous lands and devious depths, staying catched and missed with the gleam of her shadow. If a flick had been there to pop up and pep. And wriggled in all the stagnant black pools of Rainy under a fallow coo, and she laughed innis-free with her limbs aloft, and a whole drove of maiden hawthorns blushing and looking askance upon her. Dropped me the sound of the Finnorn's name, and 2 warm tea, some bogger was wisness. And dripped me why in the Flanders was she frickled, and trickled me through was she Marcel waved, or was it weirdly a wig she wore, and which side did they droop their glows in their flurry, a back to whist or a front to see, in fear to hear the deer so near, or longing loath and loathing longing. Are you in the swim, or are you out? Oh, go in, go on. I mean about what you know. I know right well what you mean, brother. You'd like the coifs and gants snappy, and me to do the greasy job on old Veronica's wipers. What am I rancing now, and I'll thank you? Is it a penny or is it a surplus? And where's your nose? And where's the starch? That's not the best or benediction smell. I can tell from here by their eau de cologne and the scent of her odour there, Mrs. McGrath. And you ought to have aired them. They've moist come off her. Creases in silk they are, not cramped in lawn. That kissed me father, for she had sinned. Through her catchment ring she freed them easy, with her hips hurrahs for her knees done The only pair with frills in all the plain. So they are, I declare. Well, lad, well. If tomorrow keeps flying, who'll come tripping the sightsee? Howl? Ask me next what I haven't got. The Belvederian exhibitioners in their cruisery caps and oars club collars. What who they bang, and what ho they buck. And here is her nobody letters too, Ellis on K and scarlet thread, linked for the world on a flush-coloured field, and an X after to show they're not Laura Jones. Oh, may the diabolo twist your safety pin, you child of Mammon Kinsella's Lilith. Now who has been tearing the leg of her drawers on her? Which leg is it? The one with the bells on it. Rinse them out and stand along with you. Where did I stop? Never stop. Continuation. You're not there yet. I am still waiting. Get on. Well, after it was put in the Mercy Cordial men to consider dag sin de moon a day wait shrift, for once they sullied their white kid gloves, chewing cuds after their dinners of chicken and bacon, with their show as it here, and their mind out of that, and that when you're quite finished with the reading material, even the snay that snowed on his hoaring hair had a scunner against him. Sara Sabuto, score her traffic squire. Everywhere if you went and every bung you ever dropped into, in sit or suburb or in addled areas, the Rose and Bottle or Phoenix Tavern or Powell's Inn or Jude's Hotel, or wherever you scoured the countryside from Nanny Water to Batteryville or from Portaletty to the Luton Quarter, you found his icon etched tipside down, or the corner boys come mocking his guy and Morris the man, with the roll of a Royce in his Turgos the Turble, Everopy handshake house, unskinned suet and yahourt, ham and now cheek me, add this way make Fatima half turn, reeling and railing round the local as the players piped under banjees twagged, with Oddfellows triple tiara Busby rotunda rinking round his scalp, like Pate by the neighbour or Pete over mare. This is the houseman all paving and stone, that cribbed the cabin that never was owned, that hocked his leg and henned his egg, and the mauldron rabble around him in Areopage, fracassing a great bing can cagnan with their timpan crowders. Mind your grim father. Think of your ma. Hing the hong as his jaws hang no man. Lilt the bolero bulling a law. She swore on crossed sticks 9 windabouts she'd be level with all the snags of them yet, par the vulnerable virgins Mary Del Dan. So she said to herself, she'd frame a plan to fake a shine, the mischief maker, the like of it you never heard. What plan? Tell me quick and down was so cruel. What the murder did she marry? Well, she burdened a sack, a shanny mail sack, with the lend of a loan of the lighted lampion of one of her swap sons, Sean the Post, and then she went and consulted her chapbooks, old Montmoor, Casey Euclid, and the fashion display, and made herself title to join in the masquerade. Oh, gig goggle of diggles, I can't tell you how. It's too screaming to rizzo rabbit at all. Minny ha, minny hi, minny hey, minny ho. Oh, but you must really. Make my hear it gurgle, like the fairest gargle in the dusky dirgle. By the holy well of Mulpodart, I swear I pledge my chance of getting to heaven through Tyrion Gilly's mount of impiety to hear it all, every word. Oh, leave me my faculties, woman, a while. If you don't like my story, get out of the punt. Well, have it your own way, so here, sit down and do as you're bid. Take my stroke and bend to your bow. Forward in and pull your over the poise. Lisp it slain and crisp it quiet. Deal me longsome. Pound your time now. Breathe that deep. Thou what's the fairway. Hurry slow and skelch you go. Lend us your blessed ashes here till I scrub the cannon's underpants. Flow now, over more, and pooly. First, she let her hair fallen down close to her feet, its heavy, its winding coils. Then, mother naked, she sank into Pistania mud, whopper and lower from crown to sole. Next, she greased the groove of her keel, warts and wares and mole and itcher, with anti-fouling butterscotch and turf and tide and certain time, and with leaf mould, she ushered round Prunella Isles and Eslats done, quince combed, all over her little Mary. Peel gold of waxwork her jelly belly, and her grains of incense anguil bronze. And after that, she wove a garland for her hair. She pleated it, she plaited it, of meadow grass and river flags, the bulrush and waterweed, and the fallen griefs of weeping willow. Then she made her bracelets, and her anklets, and her armlets, and a jetty amulet for necklace of clicking cobbles and pattering petals and rumble down rubber, rich mond and rare, of Irish runa rhino stones and shell marble bangles. That done, a dawk of smut to her airy eye, Anushka Lutatievich Offlova, and the lilipas cream to her lipolines, and the pick of the paint box for her pomettes, from strawberry reds to extra violets, and she sendered her boudoir maids to his affluence, Chilegia Grande, and Kirshi Real, the two cursings, with respects from his Mrs. Sipi and Sori, and a request might she pass of him for a minikin. A call to pay, and light a taper, in Brie on Arosa, back in the Spritling. The clock striking 9, the stall's bridely sign, there's Sam Bossy waiting for me. She said she wouldn't be half her length away. Then, as soon as the lump his back was turned, with her mealy bag slang over her shoulder, Anne Olivia, oyster face, forth of her basin came. Describe her. Hustle along, why can't you? Spits on the iron while it's hot. I wouldn't miss her for earthing on earth, not for the lucre of Lumber Strait. Oceans of God, I mustn't hear that. I'll go presta. Lest before Julia sees her. He shall carry and wash him his scad, the carriage she carried him any. Whole lady fair, do her decimal own. Bonaventura, Malagasy. What had she on the little oddity? How much did she scallop harness and weights? Here she is, Amnesty Anne. Call her calamity electrifies man. No electress at all, but old mop of necessity, engine mother of engine. I'd tell you a test, but you must sit still. Will you hold your peace and listen well to what I'm going to say now? It might have been 10 or 20 to 1 of the night of all close, or the next of April, when the flip of her hoovy igloo flappered, and out toted a bushman woman, the dearest little mama ever you saw, nodding around for all smiles, with M's of embarrassment, O's to awe, between two ages, a Judy queen, not up to your elf. Quick, look at her cute and says her quart, for the bigger she lives, the slicker she grows. Save us and take us. No more? Well, where and out did you ever pick a lamb chop as big as a battering ram? Aye, you're right. I'm apt to forgetting, like Livium Little Dill loving me long. The length of my hock, I say. She wore a ploughboy's nail-studded clogs, a pair of plough heels in themselves, a sugar-loaf hat with a gaudy quivery peak, and a band of gorse for an ornament, and 100 streamers dancing off it, and a gilded pin to pierce it. Hourglassy bicycles boggled her eyes, and the fishnets of ale for the sun not to spoil the wrinklings of her hide aspects. Potato rings buckled to the loose lobes of her loud snares. Her new tuba stockings were salmo spot speckled. She sported a galligo shimmy of haze vapor tinto that never was fast till it ran in the washing. Stout stays, the rivals, lined her length. Her blood-orange bocknickers, the two-in-one garment, showed natural nigger-boggers, fancy-fastened, free to undo. Her black striped tan Joseph was sequin sewn and teddy bear line, with wavy rush green epaulets, and a lay down here and there of royal swan's ruff. A brace of gaspers stuck in her hay rope garters. Her civvy corduroy coat with alphabet buttons was boundaried round with a two-bar tunnel belt. A fourpenny bit in each pocket side weighed her safe from the blow-away windrush. She had a clothes peg tight to stride on her jockey's nose, and she kept on grinding a something quaint in her fumy mouth, and the rake of the fluve of the tail of the gowan of her snuff-drab shoulder skirt trailed 50-odd Irish miles behind her longer roads. Hell, bells, I'm sorry I missed her. Sweet dumption, and nobody fated. But in wealth of her mouth was her nails alight. Every one that saw her said the douse little Delia looked a bit queer. Lotsy fussy mind the puddle. Mrs. B couldn't don't fall in the say. Any poor hex she must have charred. Kicking the frumpier ever you saw, making mush mullet's eyes at her boys gobbling. And they crowned her their carrot-on queen, all the maids. Of the maid, you don't say. Well, for her, she couldn't see herself. I reckon it's wherefore the darling murried her mirror. She did. Mercy me. There was a chorus of drought-dropping surface men, boom slanging and plug chewing, fruit-eyeing and flower-feeding, in contemplation of the fluctuation and the undification of her filamentation, lolling and deasing on North Laze's wall, all ill-fair week by the Duke of York's. And as soon as they saw her meander by that maritime way, in her grass-winter's weeds, and twigged who was under her archdeaconess bonnet, Avondale's fish and Clarence's poison, Sage's and whenever, wheat upon crutches the master baits, between our two south sates and the granite they're warming, or her face has been lifted, or Alpha's ducked. But what was the game in her mixed baggy ratty? Just the tembo in her tumble, or pili-pili from her pepper pot? Sass and tass and spaces bizarres? And where in thunder did she thunder? For the battle, or after the ball? I want to get it frisk from the source. I all bet my dear bit's worthwhile coaching on. Shake it up, do. That's a good old son of a bitch. I promise I'll make it worth your while. And I don't mean maybe, nor yet with a good for. Stay me proof and I'll pay you true. Well, around your on in a wavenly line, a ring aroma, she pattered and swung and sidled, dribbling her boulder through narrow mosses, the dillisky drear on our drier side, and the vile wretch vine against curara here, career there, not knowing which midway or razor to strike it, aid or either, making Chattahoochee all to arrange it you, like Santa Claus at the cree of the pale and puny, nistling to hear for their tiny hearties, her arms encircling Isabella, then running with reconciled romus and reams, on like a ledge to be off like a dart, then bathing dirty hands spatters with spittle, with a Christmas box apiece for each and every one of her children, the birthday gifts they dreamt they gave her, the spoil she fleetly laid at our door. On the mat, by the porch, and in under the cellar. The rivulets ran flood to see, the glasher boys, the polynoties, out of the pawn shop, onto the pyre. And they all about her, juvenile leads and angenuinas, from the slime of their slums and artisan dwellings, rickets and riots, like the smiley boys at their vicereigns levy. Vivian little ancient, Philo Anna, high life. Sing us a sura, o Susoria, o sonne si dulcis. Hasn't she, Amber? Chipping her and raising a bit of a cheer, or a jarry every dive she'd neb in her curly sack of wabash, she rabbed and reached out her Maundy merchandise. Poor souvenir as per recorder, and all for sore ring-around, stinkers and healers, laggards and prime lads, her furs-born sons and dribbledary daughters, 1,001 of them, and wicker pot luck for each of them, for evil and ever, and kicks the book. A tinker's ban, and a barrow to boil his billy for Gypsy Lee, a cartridge of cockaleety soup for Chummy the guardsman, for Sulky Pender's acid nephew, deltoid drops, curiously strong, a cough and a rattle and wild rose cheeks, for poor Piccolina Petite McFarlane, a jigsaw puzzle of needles and pins and blankets and shins between them, for Isabel, Jezebel and Llewellyn marriage, a brazen nose and pig iron mittens for Johnny Walker Begg, a paper flag of the Saints and Stripes for Kevin O'Day, a puff puff for Pudge Craig, and a night marching hare for Taker Tim Tom Bigby, water egg and gumboots each for Bully Hayes and Harkin Hartigan, a prodigal heart and fatted calves for Buck Jones, the pride of Clonlift, a loaf of bread and the father's early aim for Val from Skibbereen, a jaunting car for Larry Doolan, the Ballyclee Jackie, a seasick trip on a government ship for Teague O'Flanagan, a louse and crap for Jerry Coyle, slush mince pies for Andy Mackenzie, a hair clip and clack dish for Pencilus Peter, that 12 sounds look for G.V. Brooke, a drowned doll to face downward for modest sister Anne Mortimer, altar falls for Blanche's dead, wild airs breechettes for Magpeg Wappington, the Sudan to Big Eye, to Sam Dash of Hofstede, snakes in clover picked and scotched, and a Vatican viper catcher's visa for Patsy Presby's, a rise every morning for Standfast and a drop every minute for Stumblestone Davy, scrub oak beads for Beatified Biddy, 2 apple tweed stools for Ava Mobley, for Sarah Philpott, Jordan Vale Tyrone. a pretty box of Petty Fid's powder for Eileen Aruna to whiten her teeth and outflash Helen Arone, a whipping top